Rickrolling is arguably the internet's greatest ever meme and one of its oldest jokes. But what exactly is Rickrolling and how did it start? Why is it considered such an internet phenomenon? How did Rick Astley's career happen in the first place, and when was the classic song written? And what is the secret to its enduring popularity? So many questions, let's find out. As I'm sure most of you know by now, Rickrolling occurs when you click on a seemingly newsworthy link only to be redirected to a video of the Rick Astley classic. The meme began life on 4chan, an image board website which hosts forums dedicated to an array of topics where you can post anonymously. The duck roll meme, where people would click on links to various topics only to be met with a picture of a duck on wheels, had been popular on the site for some time in the mid-noughties. And in 2007, when 4chan was experiencing huge amounts of traffic, one of their clever users decided to take this tactic one step further. They created a link supposedly leading to the then eagerly anticipated trailer for Grand Theft Auto 4, but which instead linked to the Astley video. And the rest, as they say, is history. The meme started to spread to other sites, and since then it's taken on a life of its own. In 2008, Rick was invited by the Cartoon Network to appear at the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. During a performance of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, he appeared on the Cartoon Network float. The music stopped and he started to sing the 80s classic. The same year, Rick was voted Best Ever Act at the European MTV Awards, beating out U2, Green Day, Britney and Tokyo Hotel, even though Rick wasn't even one of the nominees. In 2008, Survey USA estimated that over 18 million Americans had been Rickrolled, and then there was the introduction of the Rick Astley dance as an emote in the computer game Fortnite in 2020, a move which the man himself endorsed on Twitter, and the song even featured extensively in an episode of the award-winning Apple series Ted Lasso. And Never Gonna Give You Up has inspired lots of viral content, including the Barack roll, a hilarious video where countless clips of Barack Obama's speeches are spliced together to make it appear as if he was delivering the lyrics to Never Gonna Give You Up. And even more surprisingly, this upbeat, inoffensive song has been used for protests. In 2008, the civil disobedience group Anonymous played the song on repeat during their protests against the Church of Scientology. The Westboro Baptist Church are an American hate group / bunch of morons who are known for targeting the Jewish and LGBTQ+ communities and even rock concerts. When they staged a protest at a Foo Fighters show in Kansas City in 2015, David Grohl drove up to them in a truck and blasted the classic Rick Astley song at the Crazy Bigots. And in 2017, Astley and the Foo Fighters were both performing on the same bill at the Summer Sonic Festival in Japan. David Grohl started playing the opening chords from Smells Like Teen Spirit, the classic song from his old band Nirvana. But just as he did, Astley appeared on stage and the song morphed into Never Gonna Give You Up. In 2013, even Apple got in on the act. Asking Siri what is today going to be like, produced the Wikipedia entry for Never Gonna Give You Up, presumably a temporary joke by some Apple engineer. In April 2021, Greta Thunberg shared a link on Twitter about her detailed plan to reverse climate change, but her followers were taken aback when they were actually redirected to the classic track. Later that year, Greta even did a karaoke version of the song. And in May 2022, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, got in on the act by rickrolling his Twitter followers with this tweet. In July 2021, Never Gonna Give You Up reached 1 billion views on YouTube. In doing so, Astley became only the fourth 80s artist to pass this momentous milestone, after music legends a-ha, Guns N' Roses and Michael Jackson. And in 2022, 80s legend Cyndi Lauper also joined the exclusive club when Girls Just Wanna Have Fun reached the 1 billion views mark. Rick Astley was from a small town in Lancashire, Northern England, and after leaving school he played in bands as a drummer, before eventually being made lead vocalist of a local group called FBI. In 1985, Rick was discovered by super producer Pete Waterman, who was on the lookout for new talent, at a working men's social club in Warrington, Cheshire. Waterman was one-third of the hugely successful production trio Stock Aitken and Waterman, who dominated charts around the world in the late 1980s, writing hits for Dead or Alive, Bananarama, Mel and Kim and Kylie Minogue, among many others. In an interview with the Times of London from 2019, Waterman spoke about the night he discovered Astley. "I remember this little band coming on and I couldn't take my eyes off Rick. He reminded me of Van Morrison straight away. The songs weren't very good, but with Rick I definitely thought, there's something here. As I walked out, I said to the man who had set the evening up, dump the band, I'll take the singer." Pete offered him the chance to move to London and to work with him, but Rick had reservations. He felt bad about ditching his former flatmates, and Stock Aitken and Waterman flatmates? He felt bad about ditching his bandmates, and Stock Aitken and Waterman weren't yet the hit-making machine they would become. But in the end, he made the move down south and into Pete's flat. Astley, now aged 19, became a runner, intern type person at the Saw Studios in Southwark, making cups of tea for all the big names coming through the doors and closely observing the inner workings of pop music production. While Stock Aitken and Waterman took care of the writing and producing of Rick's songs, they still needed a record label. So Pete contacted an A&R guy from RCA Records and set up an audition for Rick in the reception area of the studios. Rick told the Times of London in October 2019, "I set up the speaker in this brand new reception, but it's not set up for somebody to play live there. I sang 4 songs to an instrumental cassette in my tweed jacket from Next at 3 in the afternoon." The A&R guy was so impressed he signed Rick on the spot. Whilst Rick had moved down to London with the expectation of being developed as an artist, it was some time before the trio got round to writing songs for him. In an interview with the Times of London in October 2019, Waterman explained how the classic song came about. "We were at my flat and running late. I was on the phone to my on-off girlfriend. Anyway, there's Rick waiting for me. As we're going downstairs, he says, 'You're never going to give her up,' and I remember thinking, I'm having that. When I got to the studio, Ian, the keyboard player, was there and I said, I've got this melody. He got hold of it, then Matt Aitken arrives and I think Rick did the vocal within an hour. Once recorded, Pete says he completely forgot about the song until one day somebody played the track in a meeting and everyone was bowled over by it. Pete later said in an interview that if he knew it was going to be that big, he would have released it right away. The video was shot in an old church near London's Westway motorway. There was no stylist, so Rick brought his own clothes. It was technically his second single. He had released a song with Lisa Carter under the name Rick and Lisa, which didn't go anywhere. Never Gonna Give You Up was released in July 1987 and became a UK #1 the following month. It ended 1987 as the biggest selling song of the year when Rick was just 21 years old. It topped the charts in 25 countries around the world, including the US, where it hit #1 in March 1988. Rick told The Guardian in 2020, "One day I was making tea, the next I was at #1. Pete Waterman's belief in the singer had been vindicated. I always knew that once people heard him, the red-headed kid from Lancashire with that voice, the impact would be instant." Rick continued releasing singles and albums between 87 and 93, but each release brought diminishing returns. He retired in that year, citing disillusionment with fame and the business side of the music industry. He came out of semi-retirement in 2001, releasing records and touring on a smaller scale than he did before. But there's no denying that Rickrolling has revitalised his career. He released his album 50 in 2016, which went to #1 in the UK and sold 300,000 copies. In 2018, he released Beautiful Life, which became his 5th top 10 UK album. Rick, proving his enduring popularity with younger audiences, has now over 3 million followers on TikTok. Whilst Rick hasn't earned any royalties from the meme, as he doesn't have any writing credits on the song, the Rickrolling phenomenon has raised his profile immeasurably, which in turn has increased demand for Rick Astley concerts and appearances at 80s and 90s nostalgia shows. Overall, I would imagine the meme has benefited Astley's bank account considerably. Rick seems like a down-to-earth guy who isn't worried about highbrow critics or getting his songs on Top 40 radio. He's happy to continue with his music career on a smaller scale scale, and he isn't trying to be a heavy hitter like he was back in the late 80s. And he probably made so much money the first time around, he doesn't have to worry about his finances at all. So why exactly has this meme endured for so long in the transient and fickle world of the internet? Well, there are a number of theories for its longevity. There is the startling effect of Rick's mature, soulful voice contrasted with his boyish looks. The song is very light-hearted and unpretentious. It's a quintessential 80s look and sound, and it's safe to be viewed at work. And Rick is a non-problematic entertainer, which is becoming increasingly rare these days. And then there are also those epic dad dance moves, and memes that work tend to be very simple and provoke some sort of emotional response. And not forgetting that at the heart of the Rickrolling phenomenon is a gloriously feel-good song with a brilliant melody and a man with an extraordinary voice. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on anything in this video, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos.